women traveling to have abortions across state lines. That's what we're going to talk about with an inspiring story today. There's so much bad news, and I want to remind everybody there's more good news. I mean, I know we have these FBI raids, and we have the UK trying to ban freedom of speech. We have a mobile RV, Cousin Eddie abortion units that Planned Parenthood is so excited about announcing to invite women to Walmart parking lots across state lines and have abortions. And all these are natural challenges to a huge victory, which was the overturning of Roe v. Wade on June 24th. That was one of the greatest days in the history of America, when we gave more freedom and recognized the biological reality of many of our citizens who we dehumanized, but also their dignity. And so the overturning of Roe is this monumental victory for the pro-life movement, but it's not free. And so in return, we're getting from what is a very unprepared abortion industry and an ill-prepared Planned Parenthood executive team, we're getting these reactionary things. The mobile RVs, the lock them all up, they're domestic terrorists, the you shouldn't be allowed to stand in the public square. All those are reaction because they cannot focus on what it is at hand, which is the only way to terminate a pregnancy or end a pregnancy is to kill a baby. And you just have to live with your head in the sand in 2022 and ignore all science in order to try to justify abortion. So they focus on us, or they focus on the persecution, and we'll take it because in the end, the unborn are going to win. One of the goofy but not surprising responses from sort of corporate woke virtue signaling CEOs whenever Roe was overturned is they just assumed, number one, all women are pro-abortion, even though the pro-life movement is mainly made up of women. Women are far more pro-life than men typically because the only ones who really benefit from abortion are bad men. But these CEOs look at all their female employees as just workers who are clamoring to not have children, to never work from home or stay at home with their kids or have a career and a family. No, they all just want abortion. And so how can we give them abortion? I'll pay for your abortion. That's my response to the overturning of Roe, which is just like a loser college boyfriend's, sort of misguided mercy. Well, I'll pay for the abortion. And that's what the CEOs are doing, the male CEOs. And we know something that is being ignored, and we know it from a lot of the years that Barack Obama was president, and that is that distance is a deterrent. During his presidency, there's a lot of states, some of them would surprise you, that highly regulated abortion because we knew at the federal level it was such a disaster, like it is now with the most pro-abortion federal government we've ever had. But back then, at the time, Obama was the most pro-abortion president we've ever had. He said, God bless you, Planned Parenthood. He was the first hardcore, he sort of divorced himself from the feel-good Clinton pro-choice, safe, legal, and rare. And he was a late-term abortion guy, an infanticide politician, one of the early ones. And he was unapologetically pro-abortion. So the states went to work and highly regulated abortion, and you saw a significant drop in abortions. You saw a huge number of abortion facilities close during that time period because the grassroots were just on fire. Things like 40 Days for Life were obviously spreading around, but the pregnancy resource centers were also increasing. More of them were going medical. They were building more as abortion facilities closed, and now, we have abortion facilities, that are outnumbered by pregnancy resource centers 5-1. So I think, and I've said this before and will continue to say it, they are overestimating the number of women who will travel. And I think some will, but distance is a huge deterrent. And we know that in the pro-life movement because we don't look at women as just objects who are clamoring to have an abortion. We look at the mother's heart and we look at human nature, and no little girl grows up wanting an abortion. And how we've had thousands of women go to an abortion facility, see 40 Days for Life and say, I knew I wasn't supposed to do this. I didn't want to do it. What can you really offer me? How can I get out of this? That happens daily. during a 40 Days for Life campaign. They don't get out of their cars and pound the trunk of their car and say, "Don't tell me how to live my life. I stand for reproductive rights." That's what the goofball pro-abortion politicians and advocates do on television. They don't do it when it's real in the parking lot of an abortion facility. The women do not do that. And so because we understand the heart, and we don't just look at women as an abortion commodity, we're able to really change hearts and minds. But some women will travel, and we've had an example. A woman in Florida wanted a late-term abortion, which she couldn't get in Florida. So she traveled to New Jersey. And as she was going in, even think of all of that, booking the flight, parking at the airport, there's just more time. And time is on our side. That's why distance is such a deterrent. It gives them more time to think about it, to doubt it, to be open to alternatives by the time that they get to the abortion facility. And that's why all this is such good news in a post-Roe America. And this mom's no different. She left, she flew up to New Jersey, and she had her abortion funded by one of these many abortion funds that people are donating to help pay for other people's abortions, not paying for their kid to get cancer treatment. No, just paying for their abortion. And she took the money from one of these funds, went up to New Jersey, went and saw the 40 Days for Life volunteers, and knew she just wasn't supposed to do it. She was going in for a late-term abortion. And that woman decided not to have an abortion. The abortion fund then would not pay for her return flight to Florida. They wouldn't pay for the return flight. Well, I don't know where the choice is in that. But the local 40 Days for Life volunteers did pay. And we got her back to Florida, and she chose life. And so the whole reactionary responses that we see in a post-Roe world, because they remove the human heart, because they just think women are just clamoring to go have an abortion. Here is one of the early examples, and we're going to have many more, of women. The first example is women just not traveling, but the ones who do and decide to take that step, we are there for them. We will be at every abortion facility, and are in a post-Roe America. We will be at every mobile abortion RV when they roll those out in the next year. We're not going away. And that is why the abortion industry, they were so reliant on Roe. Now Roe is gone. It goes back to the grassroots. And it doesn't matter if you're in New Jersey or New York or Texas or California. The pro-life movement has all the momentum at the grassroots level. And this is yet another example that they can run from choice, they can run from love, but they can't hide from it. We're gonna be there right in front of the abortion facilities to offer them hope, to offer them love. This is one of the many examples we have during the largest 40 Days for Life campaign ever. As we close out the campaign, it's very telling, the first post-Roe 40 Days for Life campaign was the largest ever. So don't believe the rhetoric that all the momentum and the elections and all this stuff is in the pro-abortion side. It's not. That's a lie from the media. It is in the pro-life side, and we've seen it during this campaign, despite the absurd legal battles and persecution we've had from the FBI and the government. Despite all that, where it matters in the grassroots, we are winning. So be encouraged. We'll have a lot coming out over the next couple of weeks. We will do our post-campaign webcast in mid-November. Look for an email on that. We're going to have a lot. We'll update you on, of course, all the persecution, but we're going to share so many beautiful stories. And you, wherever you live in the United States of America, you are about to see a lot of abortion facilities close their doors in the coming months and years. And that is what the media will not tell you, but we are seeing it on the ground. So we look forward to sharing more good news with you as we end abortion in the grassroots in a post-Roe America.